Hey, what we got? Well, we're just waiting for a few of you to come in. If you do come in, that is. And tonight, what we're going to do, as I said last night, we're going to look at the Sanyo. We're going to look at the Sanyo Betamax. I'll let you know what model it is in a minute. I forgot to look at what model this actually is. And what we're going to do, the first job on this machine that we're going to do, because somebody's going to say it, have you cleaned the heads? Somebody's going to say it. I just know somebody's going to say. Somebody's going to ask, have I cleaned the heads? So, no, I haven't. Not recently. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move the television so that I can get into, put the little telly down here. I've got the little monitor out, little JVC monitor. There we go, let's get the top off this. Careful not to lose the screws. Alright, let's put it into standby while we just remove the cover. Because someone's going to say, have you cleaned the video head? And the answer to that at this point is no, I haven't, but I'm going to. I do remember it got cleaned. Do not remove centre nut. So you're not supposed to take the centre nut out of this when you replace the video head. For all I know, the video head could be bad in this, but I don't think so. But we're going to clean the video drum. Well, the head anyway. There we go. Carefully lift that off. There we go. Right, so what we'll do next, we'll take the tape out because we don't want the tape in there. Put that on top of there for a minute. It's got a bit of mould in that tape. So we'll press that down to lock that. And we'll press that. That turns the power on. There we go. And what we'll do now, we'll get the IPA. And here's how you clean a video head. You get a piece of A4 paper. Just one piece. A piece of A4 paper, just like that. And what you do, oops, put your IPA on it. And all over your trousers. And down your shirt. Just like that. Then what you do, you put it on your just there, that's all you do. So hold it there, the head will wang past and it will clean all the crap. And there's nothing on that head, there's nothing on that paper. There's a bit of ink on it, but there's nothing on that paper. So that head is spotless. So what we'll do, we'll get the other piece of paper and we'll take the IPA off that's got on the drum. There we go. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. That's as clean as, yeah, well, it's as clean as anything. So what I'll do now, I'll stop that. I'll check all the mech works. You have to turn the take up spool with the rewind. That's not bad. It's slipping a little bit, but it's alright. Fast forward. It's slipping a little bit, but it's alright, it'll work. It's getting there. It's not been used, you've got to remember there's a bit of crap on there. But that's only the audio head, that's come off that tape. So basically what we're going to do, we're going to put the tape in, and here I'll show you what the fault is. I'm going to have to move the camera. Oh, just let me get a sip of me brew. Turn my telly on. My monitor. That's a nice little monitor, that, you know. I'm going to find somewhere to put that monitor permanently on my shelf, probably where Steve's CRT is. I'll probably put it there. Hello, hello, Mark. Thank you very much for the coffee you got me the other day. I meant to thank you last night. Absolutely. Right. So here's what this machine's doing. As you can see, if we go to camera 4, we're going to get a lot of flickering, and because the refresh rates are different. So don't worry about that. Let's just move my phone. Right, so if we go to camera 4, there we go. It's a nice little monitor, this. I swapped it for a music centre. A little professional JVC monitor. Does all sorts, well, gives you a picture at least. And it's ideal for pulling out, doing these little video repair, doing these video recorder repairs. Now if I press play, there we are. That's all we get. We get a blank screen. And nothing on there. If I adjust the tracking, nothing. Is there any way we can adjust this so it doesn't flash? There's a phase button here, under scan. Nope. Colour off? No. 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 Don't know what that one did. Oh. That switches it between NTSC and PAL. Right. So if I put it into pause, there we've got a black line on the screen. We've got a black line going up the screen. Now if I put it into play, now if I we'll put it into fast forward search, we've got a line again. But we know it's not dirty heads. Don't worry about any distortion you can see in the picture, because you know I can't see that, because I'm getting a perfectly black screen, but I am getting that bar. That bar you can see going up and down, I'm getting that. Now what we'll do, we'll see if there's any sound on this, because this little monitor does have audio.
Now entering the neutral zone.
Morning. We have entered neutral zone.
There we are.
We are now in violation of treaty, Captain.
Stand by, transporter room ready to beam survivors aboard.
Captain, I've lost their signal.
Alert. 3 Klingon cruisers bearing 114 closing fast.
Visual. Activate shields.
Shields activated.
Inform the Klingons we are on a rescue mission.
They're jamming all the frequencies.
Klingons on attack course and closing.
Royal
Klingons on
Warriors.
attack
Mr.
course.
Sulu, get us out of here.
I'll try, Captain.
So we are getting
Evasive.
All hands abandoned ship. Repeat. All
so we are getting audio. Whoa! I think that might be. Oh, it's just a tape.
rescue mission.
They're jamming all the frequencies, Captain.
Yeah, it's just a tape. It's. I think the tape's knackered in places. I thought it was munching it, then it's not. But if I put my finger there, so we know the video head is definitely not dirty because we've cleaned it. Well, that's a shame, really.
You ought to know. Be on the ground.
Now let's try and adjust the
Check in
tracking.
before your inspection. And you.
That's the tracking right in the middle. Don't worry about the bar, that distortion going up and down. That's just the television. Right, so let's go rewind again. Yeah, that's because there's what. See, it's not doing it now. It will in a minute when it gets that bad part. Because there is a bad part at the beginning of the tape. So we'll take it out. Forgot about that. Right. Right. Are we fully laced in? Yeah. You can hear a relay clicking there, clicking in that it's going in. So, right, I haven't got the manual on this. I don't have the service manual for this machine, so there's not really a lot I can do. I suspect if we go to, I suspect the problem, I don't think it's here, because I think this is to deal with your servo and stuff like that. What I think the problem is, I think the problem's here. If we go to another camera, try camera 2, we could try that, couldn't we? Right, it's a bit dark, camera 2, don't worry. Now, I think the problem's this here. I think this unit here is the problem, because that goes into your video head. If I turn the scope on, the scope already is on. And I've gone and turned the machine off. Why? Because I'm an idiot. I've just gone and stopped the damn thing. I want to see if there's anything coming out onto the scope. Probably lose the camera off for a year. Right, so what we want, right, you're not going to be able to see the scope, I don't think. I don't think you lot are going to be able to see the scope, unless I can put this camera on here, go to camera 4 a second, because the camera I normally use right, yeah, you can see that. Not very good, but you can see it. Let's try and zoom it, let's try and focus in a bit. There we are. There we are. Right, so you can see that. So now if I can remember where my scope lead is, It's there. Everything's got. Oh, for fuck's sake! Wait there a minute. No. Got it. Right. Right, so that's. So we'll turn that back to there. Now we connect, put my glasses on, and we can actually probe the heads and see if anything's coming out. So if I connect to the ground here, we're only looking for signal. Pull that off there, because I don't need that, I'm just probing about. Press play. See, we know we're getting the output. Just stop that a minute, why am I not getting the raster? There I am now. Must have caught the input. Right, we are getting something there, but nothing like a picture. So what we'll do, we'll have a look at we'll have a look here and see what we get, shall we? Nothing. There's something there. So if I press this button here, right, so we're getting something there. Press stop. We're still getting the same thing. That's changed a little bit. Press play. I think I've got a loose connection here, you know, somewhere. Yeah, I've got a dodgy lead, I think. Right. Let's try another lead. I think that lead might be a bit on the dodgy side. Got another one somewhere. Have I got another one? Do I have another lead? Yeah, there's one here. There's one here on the USB scope. Alright, we haven't got the thing on it though, it's fell off. So it's the ground. Let's pull the one off here. There we go. Might not even be the lead. Might be something else I've got on that's causing interference. But that felt a bit tighter on there actually. I'll come back to the chat in a minute. I'll just... the camera's fallen over, I'll stand that back up in a minute. There we go. Right. See if we... yeah, that's better. I hope. Might have a dodgy lead. Right. Right, should we see what we get now? There we are, we're getting that. Now let's turn the track in. Won't make any difference, that's the tracking in the middle, I can feel the indent. Right. And there's nothing on that one. Might not be meant to be. A bit on there. There's a bit on there. But there's nothing on that one there. Oh yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. So if I press stop, or pause even, we should see something different. So that's going into the amp. We've got that one there. But nothing there. Nothing there. And there, but we have on there, we've got something there, not much. See, I'm not sure. Stop that. See, that's going to disappear now because we've turned that amplifier off, you see. We've stopped the tape. So that stops, that's going to stop. We're still getting a bit there. See, I think the fault's on this box here. We're either getting nothing coming out, nothing coming up to it, or also nothing going out to it. And I don't have the manual for this machine, and I don't want to probe that there because that's voltage. So we'll press play again. Nothing. Nothing there. Oh, hang on. Got that there still. That there. That there. Should we see what we get with no tape in it? That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? See what it is, see what it's like, we'll see what's there with no tape in it. Press that. So we're on play. We still get that. And we still get that. We get nothing there. Nothing there. Not much. Nothing there. Nothing there. And nothing there. Not much anyway, so stop. Let's pop the tape back in. I know this tape's got something on it. I don't expect it to be immaculate, but I know it's got something on it. It could be a bad video head, but I don't think so. It could be a bad video head. There is a way of testing it. Right. Right. Let me just take that off there a minute. And go straight onto the can. Straight onto the can. There we are, we're getting more there now. A bit there. Getting a good, we were getting a good fat signal there a minute ago. Oh, I've got a feeling it could be the head, but I don't think so. I don't know. It could be the head because we're getting nothing. We're getting nothing. We're getting nothing at the amplifier. We're getting nothing at the head, and we should get something coming off here. We're not really getting anything to speak about. So I don't think it's. I think it could be, but the only way we're really going to find that out. I think the only way we're going to really find that out is to actually check the heads. At the end of the day, the heads are a coil. They're a coil of wire. So basically, we should be able to check them with a multimeter. Turn the machine off for a minute. I'll leave the telly on. So what we'll do, I haven't got another set of heads for this machine, but I think Jay for over at Jay's Vintage Junk might have another one of these machines. I'll turn the camera around so we can see what we're doing, hopefully. Right. It's a view you don't see very often, isn't it? That's a view you don't really get that often. Right, so what we want to look at, I'll look at the chat in a minute. But what I want to do, I want to find my glasses. There they are. What I might do, I might employ camera number 3 for this particular job at some point. But what I want to do, I want to just look, and the camera's moved. These things we have to put up with in this world, I mean, you know, you can't go through life. There we are. All I want to do is the camera to sit there so I want to put on continuity, and I should get a reading there. Which I do, and I should get a reading here. Right, what I'm going to do, just to be 100% sure that we're getting the right reading and we're not being fed a red herring, we don't like red herrings. Ugh. Oh, I can't get that off. Taking this horn off here. What I want to do, I want to unplug the plug that goes to the amplifier. I mean, this machine's ancient, but take this one off here. This machine's ancient, but I don't really want to throw it away. You know, I don't want to scrap it because it's in lovely condition. So it's nice to actually hold on to. Now I've taken that off there. And then let's remove that from there just to be safe. Right. So now I can get to the amplifier. I can unplug that from there now. And now we can check. Yeah, we've got continuity on our heads. Right, let's see what this machine does with that plug unplugged. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? So I'll put you back on the scope. Get you back up here, if we can. And I know it's not the best view in the world, folks, but at least it's better than nothing. You know what they say? A small rabbit's better than no rabbit. Right, and I think it's the amplifier. So we're fired back up. Timer, standby. I thought there was a fault there, the standby light's loose. Right, let's see. So we've got nothing there now. And we should have nothing because this is unplugged. At least I think that's what that is. Let's press that stop now. Right. Oh, it's just interference. Press play. Yeah. Right, well I think we are getting something, but we're not getting. I think that's just interference, because if I go onto there, it does the same. So if I plug the wire back in, see, we've got the ground off as well. Because remember, we're now ungrounded. So if I go, we've got the ground off the head and everything, so we're going to get all sorts of shit. So if I plug this back in, just turn it off first. Well, that's not a ground, that is it? That's a ground. Yeah, there's a ground off. So if I connect, I've tested all the capacitors in this. In fact, I think I changed them. Changed all the capacitors in this little box, and it didn't make any difference. So when people say, well, yeah, just change all the capacitors, don't listen, they're usually chatting fanny. It's not always the case. It's sometimes, but not always. So what we'll do, we'll connect onto our ground here, turn our machine back on, press play. See, we're getting interference there because we've not got the drum grounded. We haven't got the ground on the drum. So we're going to get all sorts of interference. But I don't think I don't think it's the heads. I think it's this bloody amplifier here. I think it's that. That's causing us our problem. I don't think it's. I certainly don't think it's the heads. Let's go back to all views. I don't think it's the heads, folks. Without the manual, to be honest with you, without the manual, there's not really much I can actually do. Apart from just check various things that I do understand. And we've lost camera 2. There we go. Right, so I think at the end of the day, it's this little amplifier that's causing us the problem. Microchips has put a video up, Ham International Multimode 2, C11 failure. Ooh, and VCO problems. That'll be worth a watch, given I do mess with CBs as well. We only got one person watching. There's got to be more than that. No, there's no picture in picture search either, Steve. There's no picture on it anywhere. It's one I got off you. It's one I got off you. Is it able to? Are we able to use a pocket TV again? And what's Simon saying tonight? Let's start at the top. Oh, we've got 6 there now. I must have just caught up. Got Mark J. Hickling saying hello. Good evening, Mark. I was thinking, Mark, about a copy of your album, and if I purchased a copy, would I be able to use it on here? And is it available on an LP, as an LP vinyl? Hi, Pat. Yes, it is. No, it's Betamax, Pat. It's Betamax, much better than VHS. Mark Anderson, hello everyone. Yeah, good evening, Mark. Simon Wiggle, yeah, good evening, video blockbuster, evening blockbuster babes, yeah. Good evening, Simon. Steve's asking, is this the Sanyo with no picture? No. I've not got a Sanyo with no picture except on search. I had a Sony that had an issue. I gave it to Jay for bits because he's got one the same and he wanted the clock timer from it. Mark Anderson is saying, do you know what I'd love to know? Is it still ever possible to be able to use a pocket TV again? Yes, if you carry a Freeview box in your pocket. Yep. If you carry a Freeview box in your pocket, then you can watch your portable telly. Other than that, no. Your handheld set, no. Not really. Yeah. Hi Mark. Mark Williams, hello sir. I've never replaced the heads on the Sony C7, but they're very similar to the heads on these. I've never replaced them, to be honest. I've only ever had, in my entire life, I've only ever had one C7 in for repair. The C7 was the top of the range. Betamax. It came out in the very late 70s, I believe, and it had hi-fi stereo and everything on it. It was very advanced for its time, and I repaired one with a power supply fault many years ago for a friend of mine. But they were very reliable machines. The Sony C7. They also did a C6, which was a front loader, and they did a C5, which was actually a top loader as well. Why the C6 was a front loader, I'm not sure. But the C7 was a top loader. The C9 was a front loader. I had a C9. They were a good machine. And to be honest with you, I used to rate Betamax above VHS. I thought the picture quality was much better. You know, it was. You know, I don't know where my other Betamax is. Otherwise, I'd have brought a Betamax in another beta in just to check the tape. I don't need to. We know the tape is working. We know there's something on the tape because there's audio coming through it. Because this little television here, this little monitor, it has audio on it, so we know that the signal's getting there. But there's not really a lot I can do because, well, I just don't know what the issue actually is. I think it's that amplifier, and Jay's got one there earmarked for me, I believe, and it would be nice to let's turn this off, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the grounding and everything back on, because it was only taken off just so that I could just look Let's turn the power off, shall we? Probably lose camera 2 again. And see, if we turn the power off, then we don't run the risk of getting sparks and flashes. And this goes down here into there. That goes into there. Then we have this. I think that went on that way. Didn't go that way up, that's for sure, because there's no way that would bend. It goes that way, because it goes over those wires, and it doesn't ground, it doesn't go to anything, that it just goes there. Right, so let me just pull this forward. If I pull it forward, I can see where everything's going then. That's correct. That's in the right place. And this went that way. That went that way. And then we had our, where's it gone? And we had this, which I couldn't get out. And I think we had the screw go in there first. We had that screw. And I think that was the plastic, that's the wrong screw. Because that's a plastic screw, it's a machine head screw we want, which is this black one. Don't get here, you. Don't want to lose it inside the machine, do we? We're not in place there. No, we're not quite in place there, so why are we not in place there? Why are we not in place? See, these are all made to slot together. Right, I'll lift this out. That's in there. That's correct. Goes behind there, and it doesn't go forward. Unless it goes forward of that, could do. Does it go forward of that? Nope, it goes behind that. It goes down there, and then that goes into there. Only that's it. goes there, and then that's it, I think. Yeah. Yeah, that's gone in there now. But I think that should have gone the other way around, that hook. So can we turn that without taking the whole bloody thing back off? Because I think that should have gone around them wires there, and that should have hooked on. Going on there. Oh sorry, I'm just going to put it that way, and if it's wrong, it's not a problem. So I can just look back at my video. It went on the top of there, that's for sure, because that's where I removed it from. And that probably goes to a ground plane inside the lid. Oh, I'll tell you where it goes. It goes to the ground plane that goes over the heads. That's where that goes. Then we've got this one. And this is the one I couldn't get out. And that screw goes under. Bloody would do, wouldn't it? Yeah, because that screw goes under that. Yeah. Right. And that ground, that goes over the back there. Just bring this, that we go there. That's the wrong one, that's the one. Yeah, that's the one. Screw the ground, screw this back onto here. That's that. That's how it goes. But these were actually a good machine when they were new. Still a good machine now if they work. If you can ever get them working. Now the problem is I've got to take that off to put that back under, which is a bloody pain in the ass. Lift that out. Make sure I don't lose. Get the screw in the slot. There we go. Yeah, this is a real pain, isn't it? I'm sorry I took that out. That's there. That's level where we want it. Put that through there, and through there, and through there, and then just screw it in. Right. Yeah. I'd like to get that horrible Phillips that Steve's got, because I would like to give it honorary destruction here in the workshop. That Philips C deck. But Steve won't be in it, won't have anything to do with me doing that. Right. Yeah, well we're getting our TV, as you can see. That's it. Nothing to do with the loading, is it? Let me just... stop that a minute. I want to see if it's loading all the way. See which direction it loads in. Loads that way, and it does all the way, it doesn't stop. So if I do that, well, we don't now, but we were getting a line on it before. So you can notice it change. See, that's me putting the pause on and off. You can see it change when I put the pause on and off. So I don't get it. I'll see if we've still got sound on here.
That's better. Now tell me, why are you here?
Well, we're still getting set, we're still getting audio on it anyway, so let's put this back on here for a minute and get you in a position. There we go. Let's have a look at the chat, see who's popped in and who hasn't. Yeah, it is a 500, isn't it? Yeah, it is. A VTC 500. I never thought of looking at the front. I thought it was on the back. I never thought of looking at the front. I'll add it to the description in a bit. If you want to buy me a coffee, feel free. The link's at the top where my BSR Monarch banner and stuff is. It's in there on the right hand side. Anyone feel inclined to do that, then don't let me stop you. Right. Yeah, I remember the video. Good evening, Psychedelic Xylophone. I remember the video man would drive his dodgy old red Ford console van to our street, full of Betamax tapes. My dad had a Sanyo VTC 500, famous 500, yeah. Yeah, they were good machines, I mean, you can't argue with that. Yes, the dew light's not on. If it was, the mechanism wouldn't run. Because the sensor for that's on the top here. Basically, if the dew light comes on, the mechanism shouldn't run. The reason why is because it stops your tapes getting smashed up on the heads. I might be able to demonstrate that actually. See how many cameras we can lose. So just wiggle my fingers. When my fingers stop wiggling, you know we've lost something. And if I wiggle them too far near any high voltage, I lose my fingers. There we are, I didn't lose anything that time. What I'm going to do, you can all see the machine running. Yeah? What I'm going to do in a minute, the dew sensor is here. That's if it has a dew sensor. Yeah, it does. And what I'm going to do in a minute, I'm going to let the soldering iron warm up, and I'm going to disconnect one wire off the dew sensor and then try and put the mechanism back on. Because the mechanism shouldn't start with that. If that's open, because that's like an element, if that's got condensation on it, then the mechanism shouldn't start. Because basically what that does, that detects whether there's any moisture. I know that once because I replaced one. It was my Auntie Winnie's. It was a Sharp. It kept going on. It kept doing it even though it was sat on in the front room for years. And basically the dew light kept coming on. So what I did, shut up soldering station. So what we'll do, we'll stop that. Just press standby. A bit of right-handed action on the soldering iron. I think we're not enough, and we'll just take one wire off carefully. There we are. That's one wire off the dew sensor. Now, according to the laws of physics, and according to the laws of mechanics, and according to the laws of how I think a video recorder should operate, with that wire off, that mechanism should not start. The dew light should come on, which it hasn't done. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that is not the dew sensor. Maybe it's somewhere else. But the dew light hasn't come on. And as you can see, the mechanism doesn't start. See? And if you think I'm conning you, the dew indicator doesn't work. As you can see. Oh, it does. It does work. It's just recessed in there. There you go. There it is. It does work. Now if I hold that there and I stick that wire back on, or even join them together, if I go like that, see? Dew off, dew on. And that's what that does. Now if we turn it back into standby, we'll solder our dew indicator wire. Oh fuck me. The camera floor's just hit the floor. Nothing surprising there. But the point is, where's it damn well gone? Ow. There it is. We've got it. Yeah. I'm going to put a weight in this so it holds it down better. There we go. Right. We're in standby. So if I now get the soldering back, stick our dew wire back on, and the dew indicator is now not lit, and now the mechanism will operate. There you go. And that is for all you people who think that the dew indicator does nothing. Of course it does. It stops your tape getting mangled if there's condensation in the machine. because that basically warms up. I think if this condensation gets below a certain temperature, it drops. It's like a resistor. And let's turn my meter off, because I'm not a rich man. People think I am, but I'm not, you know. Right. Yeah, but do you like as we know? An Ovaltine, anything, yeah? Yeah, anything. I'm not a big lover of Ovaltine, but yeah, if it's hot and sweet, I'll drink it. Absolutely. Yeah, Soloras, I think Soloras, if I remember rightly, Soloras I think were Hitachi, but I'm not 100% sure. Because I think they were put out by Granada, Soloras. The Granada TV rentals certainly put out Solora televisions. And I think they were Hitachi. Yeah, I think I've got. Yeah, is it black? Yeah, because I've got a Sanyo front loader in there. I don't know whether it's remote control or not. I ain't got the remote for it. That was but that was a bit of a, what do you call it, that? That was a Sanyo, but it was rebadged by Toshiba, and a few other companies used that. I had one of them. They were bulletproof. I mean, you could drop them off a high-rise building, and it would then walk down and plug it in, and it would still work. They were bulletproof, them machines. But I'm gonna have to get a manual on this, because I can't work on it. I'll be honest. I can't work on it not without a manual. No one can, I don't think. Yeah, well, the Toshiba Beta was a Sanyo. Or was it the other way around? The Sanyo was a fucking Toshiba. It was the same machine. The one with the keys on it. Ferguson Video Star, yes, they were VHS. Got a Ferguson, well, it's badged as a bed. It's in the other room. The Sony C9, yes, one of the best PAL models. Yeah, I had one of them when they were working. The clocks fail on the Sonys. Get too hot. Yeah, but nowadays you wouldn't need the clock. The clock chip in my Sanyo in there's gone. But I'm not worried because I'll never use it. So Mitsubishi, yes, Mitsubishi were good. I used to like Mitsubishi stuff. I think everybody, yeah, they were all Sanyo, weren't they? Them, you know, apart from the VHS ones, and there was 3 VHS ones that I know of that had piano keys on them, if you want to call them that. There was a Sharp that had a solid brass head in it and all video drum in it. Because a friend of mine called Phil had 2 of them. In Wivenshaw years ago, and he made one good one out of the both of them. Well, one of them had been struck by lightning, and the other one had something else happen to it. Yeah, NECs were good. Panasonic, the NV133, I think it was, or was it the NV33? The NV333. They were a cracking machine. Them, they were as good as the Ferguson 3V29, and about the same age. Yeah, so Sony's, they were good when they worked, not so good when they didn't. But there again, you can say that about anything. You know, you can say that about anything. It's good while it works. But yeah, NECs, they weren't bad. I had an NEC Beta years ago. The model escapes me, but I know I had one. I've had pretty much everything, I suppose. But my favourite machine of all time is the Ferguson 3V29. They were made by JVC. They were all JVC clones, right up until they were taken over by Thompson. Yeah, it didn't do the video head any good either, that leaving the tape laced up on rewind and fast forward modes. You know, really, you know, they could have, you know, the Sony heads were known for failing because of that reason. I mean, this thing's running like a Swiss watch. I mean, it really is. It's just a shame there's no goddamn picture. You know, because if this thing worked, I would use it regular. I'd put it into regular use if it worked and use it, but it doesn't. So, you know. But I've got another one in there, and it's not the same machine. You know, I know it's not the same machine. It's very similar, but I don't think I'm not going to pull the head out of that and run the risk of damaging that machine. This tape's very knackered. You can see it's crinkled at the top, but that's not my machine doing that. This tape was already crinkled at the top. You know, and it's got mould on this tape as well. But yes, the video heads have been cleaned. I cleaned them right at the beginning, but they were cleaned when I first got the machine. Yeah, the 530 was the 530 black, or was it silver? Because I've got a black one in there. I'm not sure what model it is. I'll get it out tomorrow night. We'll get it out tomorrow night. Maybe have a mess about. I need to get all my videos out anyway, because I need really to plug them all in and let them run for a bit. Yeah, drag it out, Mark, and have a look. It might. You never know. You know, why not? There's no harm in it. And if it doesn't, you can perhaps come on and do a video of you repairing it. That's if you actually do repairs. I mean, people watch the channel and don't do repairs, but people do watch the channel that do repairs. I mean, it's a bit of everything, isn't it? I mean, there's even some ladies who do repairs. Right. Yeah, I'm not sure if mine's... Was it a black front on it, or was it a silver front? Do we know Psychedelic Xylophone? Because I've got one in there with a black front. And the whole machine works apart from the clock. Which means you can't use the timer or anything because none of it works. It lights up, but I think the clock chip's knackered. Yeah, it's that little belt down the front here, isn't it? There's two belts in this. There's one at the back here for the loading, and there's one down the front, and this drives the idler and stuff. It's that I know that belt fails, but I put a new one on this. Yeah, I've got one in there. Yeah, I've got one in there. I'll bring it in tomorrow night, because what I might do, I might do a couple of nights where. The Sony C20, I had a C20, and I think that's why Psychedelic Xylophone has mentioned it. I did have a C20, but I've no longer got that machine. I gave that to Jay from Jay over at Jay's Vintage Junk, because he wanted the clock chip out of it for one that he's got that works. Well, mine didn't work, and I wasn't going to. You know, I wasn't going to work on it. I did actually get a picture on it. I could get a picture in fast forward. No, tell a lie. What the problem was, the capstan wasn't turning, and I fannied about with it for a couple of days, and I did actually get a picture if I pressed pause, if I pressed play, and just before it died, just before it cut out, if I pressed pause quick, the picture would pop up onto the screen. So I knew the heads were good, so I saved it for that reason, because I knew it had a good head in it, video drum in it. And Jay mentioned that he wanted a clock timer for one that a clock chip for one that he'd repaired, and I said, yeah, I'd just take that. So I just gave it to him, because I wasn't doing nothing with it. So he ended up with it. And that's right, they did, Mark. Yeah, this one was the same. When I pulled this out of storage tonight, let's say storage, the bedroom. When I put it away about 2 years ago, the mechanism was all working, but when I put the tape in it, it wouldn't. It was very, 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 very slippy. So I had to give it a quick clean before I came on camera. But yeah, they did have an habit for that, yeah. Yeah, I think they were called Beta Hi-Fi, weren't they? I'm sure they were. Yeah. But you know, the best. I think really. You know, the only problem really we had with Betamax. Let's stop this. Really, the only problem we had with Betamax. Turn me telly off. Really, the only problem we had with Betamax was VHS came along, because Betamax, the picture quality. I don't expect everybody to see eye to eye with me on this, but as far as I'm concerned, the picture quality on Beta was far better than the picture quality on VHS. The Betamax machines knocked out a really, really nice picture, and it was clear. And all the colours were all in the right place. VHS, it was just rubbish, really. I mean, they brought out SVHS, but it never took off over here. That was more of an American and Japanese thing. It never really took off, SVHS. I've only had a handful of machines over the years, and I had one that was imported, and somebody had put 240 volts up it, and obviously made a bit of a mess of the power supply, so that went straight on the junk pile. But it went to help other machines live. But it's a shame, really, that this is. When I first brought this out of storage, this thing wouldn't rewind, it wouldn't fast forward. It left the tape out in the mechanism, it didn't wind it back into the cassette. It's doing it all now. Because it's been on, and it's it's not all slippy like it was, and I feel confident now. I can just inject that without finding the tape in there, because I know the belt's good in this and the idlers are good. It's just lack of use. So we'll put that back in, and we'll go to the end of the tape. We'll go fast forward. There we go. And that's a lot faster than what it was when it came out of storage. I mean, it's a lot quicker, and the rewinders as well. Go to rewind. Rewind's still a bit slippy, but it's picked up now. That's alright now, that. Oh, it's a shame, really, but what can we do? I need to find the manual for it. I need to get the manual. I can't do anything without the manual, and my torches come on. I can't do anything without the manual, guys. You'll all appreciate that. You know? Yeah, Mark, it was the picture, Mark even. Yeah, the picture was, you know, yeah, the Betacam, that didn't really, hang on. Oh, more than 2 sniffs of that and you're greedy. Anyway, the Betacam, I don't think it really became a thing over here, did it? I've seen a couple of them, because you couldn't play the tape. You know, are we talking about the Betacam that had the video recorder built in, or are we talking about the camera that just plugged into the front of the machine? Because the camera that plugged into the front of the machine had no mechanism in it, and it was just a camera, and the other one had the mechanism, but you couldn't play them. You couldn't play them on the fly. You could only record and then you had to bring it home and find out what you had, which defeated the object. You've probably got them all on beta. Only fools and horses. Do you know, I never got that, and I just didn't understand. Good evening, SX. Yeah, we're in video recorder mode tonight. Sanyo Betamax. Not working. We ain't gonna fix it in this episode, that's for sure. Just to recap, not literally, I don't think it's the heads, folks. In fact, to be perfectly honest with you, if I had 3 bollocks, I'd bet one of them that it's not the heads. What time is it? Because I don't want to be on late tonight. Oh, we're okay. It's only, wow, that's all it is. It's only 5 to 8. I've got plenty of time. Because there are a few things that I want to go on the CB tonight at some point, because I've not been on for a couple of days and people are starting to miss me. My friend Carl rang Christine, and or she rang him, and they had a chat, and he asked why I'd not been on, like, because I normally go on and have a chat with him for a couple of hours, but yeah, well, about an hour or something. A few other people pop in and we all have pass the mic around and say hello. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, oh, you off, Mark? I didn't realise you'd gone. Yeah. Right, well, you get yourself off and have a good evening, and it's been nice to see you on as always. It's always a pleasure. Yeah, the camera with the video built in. Yeah, you couldn't. Yeah, you couldn't. What do you call it? Could you? You couldn't view the footage. You had to wait till you got home, or unless you had a portable machine with you, you could then view the footage. But yeah, that's true. That, yeah, if Sanyo made jukeboxes, they'd probably be the best ones in the world. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That, yeah, I agree. Because Sanyo stuff, it wasn't bad, was it? I mean, when you look at a lot of these old hi-fis, them old Amstrads I've been messing with lately, they've all got most of them, apart from that little small thing, that SM 101, that had an Hitachi chip in it. But most of the tower systems, just about all the tower system versions, they all had they all had a, what do you call it, a Sanyo amplifier in them. You know. You know, I mean, these things, they were bulletproof, really, and they were plastic, but they were bulletproof, and they never really failed. You know, as long as they weren't abused, they never really failed. I mean, I'm just looking around it, and the tape is going all the way around, obviously, because it starts here and goes round. It's going through all the various runners and rollers, and it's going across the audio head because of sound. So, you know, there's not really a lot I can do with it, I'm afraid, folks. It's been a bit of a no, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say it's been a bit of a letdown. I knew I wouldn't be able to mend it in this stream. I wouldn't be able to mend it. I knew we weren't going to get it going now, but I need a haircut now. You know, but we've had a bit of fun with. You know, I bet that thing's warm now. No, it's cold. But if I was to spray freezer spray on that, the dew light would come on. And we've already demonstrated that the dew light comes on if you disconnect that. And it's the same in VHS if you disconnect that. So your tape doesn't get mangled by dew being on condensation, being on the video heads. That's why they always said to you, when you bought a brand new machine, you took it in out from a cold place to a warm place, plug it in and leave it plugged in for an hour, or maybe an hour and a half, for as long as it took really for that light to go out. I used to leave it an hour plus maybe an hour to be certain, and that way I knew the light had gone out, and I knew even though the light had gone out, the video drum the tape wasn't going to stick to the video drum. Because because it does make a bit of a mess. Yeah, you should have bought them. That's if Dallas was your bag. But there again, somebody would have bought them from you for more than what you gave. I mean, there's somebody out there for everything, isn't there? I can. What's Mark saying? Mark is saying I can remember going with my dad to John Lewis, Brent Cross to buy our Sanyo Betamax. It was priced at £399. Can still remember the feeling of excitement as I was only 15 years old. Yeah, that puts you around about my age, doesn't it? Yeah, puts you around about my age. It's amazing how you can guess someone's age, you know, just because they went with their dad to buy a Betamax. I don't think if I remember rightly, we never ever had a Betamax in the front room. I had a couple in my bedroom, but we never had one as the main machine in the front room. I can believe that as well. The very last Betamax I seen for sale, brand new that is, because you could still get them from places like Favourite TV and Repo TV, places like you could still get them from there second hand. But the last brand new one I remember seeing was in 1987, and it was in Comet. Not Comet, sorry, it was in Curry's. It was in Curry's in Northington in Wivenshaw. No, was it Curry's? No, it wasn't. It was Comet. It was in Comet in Wivenshaw in Northington, and I was just looking in the window, and it was £199. Brand new, remote control, unused, ready to go. And that was the last one I've seen in the shop, in any shop. But that's not to say they didn't sell them after that. I lived in Scotland for a few years, and Scotland was full of Betamaxes. So what's POA? Price on arrival, isn't it? Yeah, the Sonys, they were dear, weren't they? I mean, yeah, 399 in 1982. Yeah, you're a little bit younger than me. I was 16 in 1982. Well, I was 15 for, I was 16 in 1982, because that's when I left school. Yeah, Dixon's, yeah, they sold all that sort of stuff as well. They were into it, weren't they? They were one of the last places to do them as well. But yeah, please be kind and rewind. I used to, you know. But that being said, I never really joined a video library, and do you know why? A friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, had their video recorder stolen, and I was there when the police turned up. And the copper says to my friend, he said, the worst thing you can do is join a video library, because video libraries have an habit of giving unsavoury people your address. And in the 1980s, the most stolen item in Britain was a video cassette recorder. So I never joined any video clubs. But if I borrowed a tape off a mate or something, yeah, I always rewind it. I always rewound it before giving it back. I mean, I always rewound it because it was polite to do that. But I never ever joined a video library and never got a tape from one. Apart from one in Scotland. I did some repairs for a guy who had a video library, and I used to get my tapes off him for nothing. And Psychedelic Xylophone was 2 in 1982. Wow. What, you made a video about it, Harvey? What about video recorders being stolen, or video clubs, or, you know, be a bit more specific if you can, that is. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff, there was a lot of nice things about in the days. Scotch tapes are unusually the rewinder's nightmare. Right, been busy. Harvey's been busy. He's going to grab a bite. Oh, well, there we go. Grundigs. I didn't like Grundig video recorders. In the same way I weren't keen on Philips. But that doesn't mean to say they weren't bad. Just mean to say that doesn't mean to say they were bad. Just means to say I weren't keen on them. Mark, good evening, Mark. I think you popped in early, didn't you? Your brother hired a video and it snapped in the machine, so he spliced the tape and wound it back and then took it back to the show. I think everybody's done that. I haven't, because missing pin on the pinch roller. I got your message, Harvey, but I fell asleep. But no, is it for a reel-to-reel or is it for a cassette deck? Because I have got some. It'll take some digging out, but I have got some. But they're all different sizes, different hole diameters in the middle of the pinch roller. I've got nothing for reel-to-reels, just cassettes. Just cassette decks, really, Harvey. I would imagine you'd be able to make a pin for that. Just take a standard pin and just take it down to the size that you need. Yeah, but I never joined video libraries, and There was one in Wivenshaw on Old Road, and they were known. They're no longer there now, obviously, and they were known for giving your address out to the wrong kind of people. You could guarantee that if you rented a tape from there, about a week later, less than that even, your video would be stolen. Yeah, that was a well-known fact. Yeah, I've got I've got the VZ3000, as we all know. Right. Can't cut it at both ends. You solved it anyway. Oh well, there we go. Yeah, you know, I don't like things where you can't make a new part and put it in, put a new part in. You know, without a lot of fucking about. There will be a way around it. Yeah, there'd be a way around it somehow. I'd find a way around it. Anyway, for best results, always use Philips tapes. What? Sod off. Yeah, absolutely. I remember the black Philips range. I can't remember what they were. Steve will know from the Long Stay Workshop, the Vintage Electronics Long Stay Workshop. He's got one. Them C-deck things, we used to call them Bics, where, you know, you only use once. You made a workaround, right? I mean, I was never keen on anything really Philips. I mean, I was never. I mean, some people swear by it. I mean, and yeah, they might have made the odd nice item, but I wasn't keen on them. They weren't the sort of thing for me. No, I am reading the comment right. You've just said you've made a workaround. I know, I get the idea, Harvey, you fixed it. I knew that. But, no, I'd worked that out. I knew you'd fixed it. But, you know, yeah. Well, at least you got it sorted. But, you know, what I was saying, Harvey, is I don't like things where you can't repair them easily, modify them easily. You know, I mean, my idea is to pull a pin out if it's, well, if the pin's there, there's no reason to pull it out. If it's missing, then make a pin for it. I will do, Harvey. I'll have a look at the video. I'll have a look at the video, mate. I know where you are. I'll have a look at the video, see what you did. Absolutely. But, yeah, I need to wipe my glasses. They're getting steamed up. Yeah. Give them a wipe. Finding it hard to read. Oh, that's better. Can see through them now. Oh, you're welcome, Harvey. What psychedelic xylophone saying? That's what Philips stuck a sticker on most of their real machines, telling you to buy their real tapes for best results. Yeah, yeah, I was never into Philips of any description, and I'm still not. You know, I just thought it was crap, to be perfectly honest, but there are those who will argue that, and they're entitled to, get every right. You know, everybody's got a right to an argument. Yeah, having a right to be right is another matter. You know, but yeah, everybody's got a right to an argument. see what we, you know, see what we end up doing with this. I mean, it's a shame really, because the front of it's immaculate. Yeah. They were VCR 2000s. VCR 2000s, which was the first of the Philips formats. There was another one they brought out as well, and I can't remember what it was called. Yeah, I've got a couple of VHS tapes, because I've got some VHS machines. So I have got some VHS tapes knocking about. I've got a beta tape knocking about somewhere with a dirty movie on it. I threw it in the Sanyo, in the other Sanyo one night, and I was going to make a YouTube video, and I pressed play and it pops off. I thought, oh bloody hell, I can't show that. Don't know where it came from. Well, I do, but I'm not going to say where it came from, because I don't think the person who gave it me knew that was on it. But I'm not going to say where it came from, but where I think it came from. But yeah. It had a bit of Frankie Vaughan on it, and I'm not into that. Definitely not. I'm a doer, not a watcher. Anyway, so that was yeah. I was certainly. Hello, Mike. Hey, nice to see you, fella. Hope you're feeling better. Hope the wife's good. And thank you very much, sir. Yeah, you will see me Sunday. We're on Sunday. I was a bit off on Sunday, Mike. I was a bit off Sunday, so I cancelled Steve. But this week, I think I'm feeling much better. So we're, I'm at the hospital Sunday morning. I've got to go and have my jam tart checked. So I'm at the hospital Sunday morning. I don't know how I'm going to get there yet, but I'll get there. I mean, Sunday, I'm going to try and scav a lift. I don't want to go on the bus. You wait for an hour. But yeah, we're definitely there. We'll definitely be here Sunday, that's for sure. And I might just phone the place up and blame the postman. I might just say I got the letter too late and couldn't arrange it. I'll phone them up tomorrow. They should be open. It's a hospital, isn't it? Got to be open. So see if we can ring them tomorrow. If not, I'll ring them on Monday. I'm not going down on Sunday. Yeah, you could turn the cassette over. Looks exactly like a blank VHS, only much bigger. Yeah, they were Video 2000. Another failed format from Philips, and I don't understand how that format failed. I mean, I think you could get 4 hours on them. I think you could get 4 hours aside on them, which gave you an 8-hour tape. How the hell did that format fail? I don't understand how that format failed, because I had 2 of them machines when I lived in Edinburgh. I found them at the side of the road outside my flat, so I took them in. And after a bit of cleaning, they worked. And then I found out the reason why they'd been thrown out. I went to my friendly video club we had done some repairs for, video library that I'd done some repairs for, and I asked him if he could order me some of these tapes, and he said yeah. He said they're about £20 a tape, and that was back in 1991. He said they're about £20 a tape. He says, he said, the only place I know where to get them is London. I said, nah, sod that, mate. I threw them back out onto the street. Yeah, they were, the Video 2000 was a Philips format. One of the failed ones. Because, you know, Philips, everything they made, it was pretty much junk, but they had to go at everything. You know, yeah, they were a Philips format Video 2000. Yeah, a failed one. But, you know, I don't understand why it failed, because I thought it was a good idea. You know? You can use 2 sides of the tape. They're just a little bit bigger, They weren't much bigger actually than a VHS machine tape, a VHS tape. They were bigger, but they weren't much bigger. And you know, you couldn't fit one in it. You couldn't fit one in a VHS machine. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. No, it certainly was not, mate. Definitely not. Absolutely no. Not guilty, Your Honour. Definitely not. What was that? What was that machine? What was that machine Sony called? What was that machine called by Sony that used a large? Oh, I don't know. Do you know? I don't know what that machine was called. I've seen one actually, but you know, yeah, we're getting into uncharted territory here. I can't remember what that machine was called. I've certainly never had one. And I think they could only record him. They could only record and play back in black and white. And they were the first. I believe they were the first commercial video machine on the market. Yeah, probably so. Yeah, probably for the same reason that Betamax failed. Yeah, they weren't VHS. Well, yeah. And then the rental shops had chosen VHS. I think it was the very first proper colour machine. Oh no, I've not heard of a colour one. The first video machine was introduced, and I believe it was by Sony in 1962. I believe, and it could do black and white. But I know the machine you're on about. I can't think what it was called, but I know the machine you're on about. It was a colour machine. I know the one you mean. It could do colour, but I can't remember what model it was. But I know if you find one nowadays, it's going to be certainly not working. Right. Anyway, back to this old fella. What we'll do, we'll pull. Let's see what time it is, because yeah, it's nearly 8:30. It's not worth it. What we'll do, we'll come back on tomorrow night or tomorrow day or tomorrow sometime, and we'll pull the amplifier out of the back, and we'll see if, you know, we can find something. I have recapped it. I'm sure I have. I'm sure I recapped it. I'll tell you what. I'm going to turn the power off. And I'm going to pull the amplifier out now just to check. I'm pretty sure I recapped it. Where's my glasses? But I'm pretty sure it's just pull the leads out the back so we don't. There we go. Have an issue getting things off. There we go. I mean, there's not much on these. I mean, let's unscrew that. Get that out of the way. Don't matter if I lose the screw, it's only a plastic. It's only one designed to go into plastic. So now if I unplug this unit here, unplug this plug here, there we go, unplug that there, and then I think there's another plug. Oh, I think you have to go through the bottom, don't you? Yeah, you can't just take the... Can it come out through the top? I think you have to take it out through the bottom. So I want to see if I can get it out through that way. because there's a plug there. There's a plug there. Yeah, there's a plug there. Another one opposite. I'm not doing that tonight, but I'll do that tomorrow. And I'm sure I recapped this. I'm just looking to see through the gaps in it there. No, but I'm sure I recapped this. I'm tempted to pull the bottom off. Hang on. Take this BNC connector out. There we go. Right, let's whip the bottom off, shall we? And see. And see. Well, that's interesting. Assembled in the UK. Wasn't made here, like. It was assembled here, so all the parts were shipped over from Taiwan or wherever it was created. It would come over in bits, and it was reassembled here. Well, that is interesting. I just noticed that. Mind you, I think them Fergusons weren't they? And JVC clones. I think they were assembled here, weren't they? They were made in Japan, but they were all shipped over. They were shipped over in bits. And it must have been, do you know something? I don't know how it worked, but it must have been a right headache for Japan because for JVC, because they made them for everybody. And, you know, some of them had to have different circuit boards in the front. Well, they all did. The JVC ones, they all had different circuit boards for the front panels and stuff. That must have been a nightmare to make, you know, because even the boards had JVC stamped on them. So it must have been a nightmare, really. Make all them machines and then a different board for each one. You know. But, I mean, because how would you... Oh, hang on, we nearly forgot one. Because how would you do it, really? I mean, you'd have to, wouldn't you? You'd have to make a board for each one. You'd have to. There we go. Right. We've got screws in here as well, they're everywhere, aren't they? I mean, might be worth looking over this for dry joints as well, because there could even be a fault on this bloody board under here. I'm saying it's the amplifier. You know, what I need to do is look at this board and see if there's anything being fed up it. So I'm going to shoot off soon because A, I need a pee, and B, I want to go and do something else as well. So we're just going to have a quick look, because we're going to be working... Oh, shit on a stick. There we go. There we go. Get that back round. I need a pee now. I'm going to have to go and have a pee in a minute. There we go. I'm going to end the video soon because put so many bloody screws in the damn things. And they're aimed at right-handed people. See, what it tells you what each section does here. Right. Give me a minute, folks. I just need to go and have a pee. I'm not going to bother muting it. The bloody toilet's miles away from here. Won't pick that up. Look at that, I'm bursting. Jesus, man. Oh. Oh. Oh, that feels better. Oh, does it just? Oh. Wow. There we go. I'm back, folks. Oh, I just had to go and have a slash. There we go. Oh, and yes, I did wash my hands. So what we'll do, we'll have a look. And we'll see what each section does. And then we can look for, because the fault could even be on this bloody board here. Now that should fold down. Right. Move this back. Now. Well, that's playback level, and we're not getting any playback. Let's bring the camera down. So I'll try and explain this the best I can. Right, this is your audio board, this is your audio here. This is your audio block. So this will be a playback record to do with your audio. Don't worry about this is all RF and IF and shit like that. But this is the area we're interested in. Noise cam comb, playback level, expand. We've got one of them couplets there. It could even be that. It could be the issue. Could do. The board at the side there, that is, what do you call it? That's servo. But we've also got a relay here as well. That relay clicks, that's the click that you hear when you press playback or record. I think, well, if I say record, we'll certainly hear it on playback. I don't know whether this records, I've never tried it, I need to do that. See if it'll record and see if the problem, that would tell me, wouldn't it, if I recorded something and played it on another machine. We'll do that before we end. We'll just record some white noise and then leave the tape and then put it in the other machine. So basically we've got a lot of these things here. I think they're tantalums, aren't they? They're tantalums, those. It's just got a transistor there. Do I really want to get into testing, especially as I want to get involved with something else? Jesus. Yeah, looks like I'm heading that way. So what we'll do, we'll see. Just I'll shift that camera for a minute. There we go. Let's see if our transistor. Nothing there. Yeah, that's okay. Let's have a look at this one. Yeah, it's okay. Right. Oops. So what we'll do, we're going to carry on playing, aren't we? So what we'll do, we'll very good. Why didn't that lace up? It should have done. Why didn't it lace up and start to run? Oh, hang on, let's plug that back in. Let's plug that back in there. There we go. Can't remember which one of these was. I think the video was red. Can't remember. Can't remember. But we want the video out. And it's either that one or that one goes in the. We'll just soon find out.
I was not attempting to evaluate its moral implications, Doctor. As a matter of cosmic history,
Right. Fuck's sake. Fucking camera. Right, what I want to look at, let's shift that, let's turn it round, let's see if we get to the scope, just about, there we go, that'll do. Right, now, oh for fuck it, you'll have to take my word for it, folks. You have to take my word for it, I'm afraid. Right, so that's where's my scope lead. Right, if I see anything interesting, I'll try and show it you. Right, but we just want to connect Anywhere there, ground, that'll do. Let's press that to set it. Right. So we've got, let's press stop. No, yeah. Right. Right. Let's get yours back up here, shall we? I've just seen something very interesting. Let's get yours back up here. This is very interesting. Be even more interesting if the camera decides to stay still. Be a miracle. Right, let's go to camera 4. Now, we'll try and keep the camera from falling. Now, watch this. If I put it in the comb, in the noise comb there, see, we're getting nothing. Nothing worth having. Press play. There's our video signal. Right, so that's our video signal. If we go to the playback level, there's our video signal there. And I'll bet you if I put a tweaker in there and I tweak that, I'm trying to stop the machine falling over. Right, I'll bet you if I put a tweaker in there without the machine falling over, oh there we are. Now if I put that there, whoa, see, I don't want the machine falling over on me. And I'm about to knock the bloody ground off. Let's clip that somewhere sensible. Right. Well, that's not sensible. We can't fucking reach. Right. So if I now turn, just let the machine fall on my hand. Right, well we've got that makes no difference. I'm not bothered about the level of this. I can't get onto that there because I can get onto here. Right, so we've got that's the video drum there, that's the capstan. I'm trying to shove my finger in somewhere so I can't hold the machine. I just can't hold the machine. See, we're actually getting a good there you are. See, that turns up and down. See that, folks? That's turning up and down. So that tells me, see? That tells me that we're getting video. If I pause it, there. Fast forward. Play. See it? We're actually getting now. If I stop, if I can now, if I can put the screwdriver down, I'm trying to hold the machine, and I'm trying to play about as well. Now if I put onto there, see it moving? So if I put it on pause, it might be better. Yeah, we're on pause. See? It's throwing the sink out. Right, so right. That doesn't like that. Maybe the signal path is on the other side. The only trouble is where am I going to connect to on this side? Well, I can connect to the metal work, I suppose. Just connect to there. See if I still get my video signal. I do. Nope. 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 There's something there. We're getting something there. Nothing there. Nothing there. And nothing there. Now, that's the expand. That's playback level, which we know we're getting something on the playback level. Let's go on that link there. No, that's probably a voltage of some description. Let's go on this capacitor here. Let's go on this capacitor here, which is near enough. Nothing on the other side. Right here. Nope. We're getting something there. That's the noise can comb. That's what we're getting there. And if we go over to here, we should get audio. One of these should have audio on it. One of them should. Because this is your audio in. Get here. Right. I'll come back to the chat in a minute. Right, so basically we know we're getting audio because we can turn the sound up. Oh, this is a pain. Get in there, you. Right. Get in. Right. So if I just hold that there for a minute, just shove it in that one there. Be alright there, that. Now if I turn the telly up, the monitor. Oh, we're not getting sound. Oh, that's because we're on pause. Whoops.
Lock phasers on target and await my command.
There's lock.
Time's up.
So we're getting audio there. So if I go into here, we've got to get audio from some from here. I think it's that one. But I don't know. But I think that's your audio there. It's low. Hang on. Get it, yeah. Yeah. There's your audio. Because if I bring my finger up here to the pause button and there. There's your playback audio. So we're getting audio, but we know that we can hear it in the speaker. So we know that anyway, we're just not getting it video. So and I think the head amplifier might be okay. Don't think that's the problem. The problem's not up there, the problem's down here, it's on this bottom board. So I need to look at, what about this thing here? Now look at that there, that's video, that's got to be video, hasn't it? Just press pause. Whatever that is, it's very noisy. Let's go back onto here and try adjusting the tracking. There. That does make a difference. Not much, but it makes a difference. It does make a difference. See that there, and then go there. It does make a difference. Very small, but it makes a difference. So now let's go back into our let's press pause. Let's press stop. There. We've got nothing there now. There we go. That's our video signal by the look of that. Now, it will mean let's just put that back into there, and let's put my finger on there. See that there? When I do that, it sends the sync out. See what I mean? I'm touching that and it's not doing anything, but the minute I squeeze on it, there we are, it's sending the sync out. Right, so I'm going to disconnect that from there for now. Right, I'm going to rule. I'm going to rule out the fact. I'm going to rule out the fact the fault is up on the heads. It's not. The fault is on this fucking bottom board here. And I need to go through this bottom board and find anything that is not right or anything that is warm, because we're getting the playback, because we can even adjust the playback level. So we're getting the playback. We're just not getting it through the bloody pic. We're just not getting it through the screen. It's not the signal's not getting through. Now let's just. What I'm going to do, I'm going to leave it there. Right, I'm going to leave it there. I'll see what we're saying on the chat. I'll rest this back down again. And the camera's fell. Doesn't matter now, we're done with it. We're done with the camera now anyway, so we're not bothered. Let's turn the monitor off. Right, so now let's have a look at our. Let's have a look at the chat, see what you're all saying. See if there's any recommendations. I mean, usually there's a lot of knowledgeable people come on here. I'm going in a minute because it's nearly 9 o'clock. Right. Well done, Andy, from Mark. Good diagnosis. Yeah, they were good machines, Mike. I mean, they really were. Yeah, catch you later, Harvey. I'm just looking down. It probably might, you know. If it doesn't, it won't take much to get it going. Certainly not. I'm just looking. Yeah, they were, you know, Sanyo 5000s. They were a good machine. Let's turn these sockets off because we don't need them now. Turn the soldering iron off. We don't need that. Yeah, they were good stuff. I think this is what you lot have been waiting for me for, isn't it? Get me, you know, get me teeth into something. You know, it's yeah, the clock on this it's still a nice clock. You know, if you're referring to this one, Mark, it's still got a nice bright clock. And the chip hasn't failed because you can still set it. I mean, you wouldn't nowadays, but it's there. You know, but I remember the young ones, yeah. I'm just briefly going through these because then this is where Mike came in. Well, I'm glad. It's glad to know that you're on the mend anyway, Mike. Absolutely, you know. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Glad to know you're on the mend, and well, I hope you are. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there, folks. Something went wrong. Try tapping it. There we go. Right, it's just confusing. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there because I want to go and catch up with my mate for an hour. And yeah, I think we'll continue this project tomorrow. Now I've worked out the fault's not up here. I said it wasn't. I said right from the beginning the fault wasn't on the heads because that was too clear. If there was a fault with the heads, you'd get noise on that screen, and I know that. So, so the fault had to be either in here or down there, and I suspected the fault was down there because we're getting information. We're getting video information now on the scope. So what I need to do is have a look at try and find the manual. I think I downloaded the manual, but I'm not sure where I put it, so I have to scour the computer and find the manual for it and have a read of the manual and see if I can progress any further with my diagnosis. But yeah, I've certainly diagnosed that the fault isn't up here, that the fault's under there. So I'm happy, I'm quite pleased that I've got that far with it this evening. So the evening hasn't been a total waste. It never is anyway. Let's turn these sockets here off. There we go. I mean, my evenings are never, I don't class them as a waste anyway, but it's nice to get at least something out in the evening, and we have tonight. We've got a diagnosis. We've got the idea that the machine has got the fault. The fault is on the bottom board. I'd like another bottom board to check it against, but I don't have one. But I would like another board to check it against. But then I could start looking for the fault. But I'm going to start looking for the fault anyway, and try and get this thing up and rolling. Let's go to the back here. We've got 8 people still up here. Oops, get back down there. You said you could pop up. You can't effing spell tonight. Oh, don't worry about that, Harvey. We all get a bit stuck now and again. You would have missed Dallas. Was it really worth buying a video recorder just to watch Dallas? Harvey, behave. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, it's yeah, I think we'll get this one sorted. Don't know how long it'll take, but I think we will. We're you know, we're well on the way now. We've got, you know, at least by being able to adjust the video at the playback level, that tells us that we're getting a good signal, that we're getting the signal down. It's just not coming out where it should. Now, I need to, I mean, the fault could even be around here, but I don't think so. I don't think the fault's here. I need to know what all this lot does. I and there's an aftermarket board stuck on the back of here as well. Well, it's not aftermarket, it's a bit of an oversight. Obviously they didn't make enough room on the board and they felt they needed a few more bits. It's about, I don't know, about ½ inch long, about an inch wide by about 2 inches long. But I think, well, we're definitely not going to replace any caps in the power supply. We're definitely not going to mess about with the tuner because the tuner works. We're gonna look at what all these lot here do. See, this board deals with your tracking, because your sub-tracking controllers on here, and this is to deal with record as well. So this has got a bit to do with it, I would think. I would imagine, yeah. So SV1 servo. So this is your servo board. So the problem, I don't think the problem will be on here, because this is your servo. It's not saying it can't be, but I don't think so. I think we've hit the nail on the head, and I think the fault's on the bottom board. That's what I think. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there, folks, and you all have a lovely evening, what's left of it. And thank you so much for coming in. You're all always welcome. No one is ever turned away, unless they start being horrible. And we'll be back on this tomorrow, because I've got a bit of an urgency now. Now I've done a bit to it, I've got a bit of an urgency now to actually get this thing working. Bit of a desire to get this thing working. So we'll pick up on this tomorrow. And you all take care, and I shall catch you all later, and thank you very much, and bye for now. I will make the adjustment in the thingy that it is the VTC 500. I didn't have a look at the front before I bothered. I should have done, but I didn't. Anyway, you all take it easy, and I'll catch you all tomorrow. Bye for now, folks, and thanks once again.